Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Prospect Corner here at the Hockey Writers. I'm your host, Matthew Zator, and as always, joined by Dayton, Reimer, and Peter Baracchini. We've been off for a bit, lots of stuff going on in all of our different worlds here, but we're back. We're going to talk prospects as always, and it's been a bit of a crazy first few months in especially Calder Trophy race. I know at the beginning we were talking a lot about who's going to lead it, who's going to be the favorite. Kind of had Demidov as the consensus. While he's still in the race, of course, but there's lots of guys that are really performing. There are a ton of players that are in double digits in points already, up at the top of the leaderboard in rookie scoring. So that's where we're going to begin, because it's really fun to turn all these young guys going in, and it's a lot of teams that are actually surprising early on because of these players. So I'll start with you, Dayton, for this. I mean, we're going to get your top three. It might be difficult to pick three right now. You'll get to mention a few guys later on, but who is your top three at this point of the season amongst rookies for the Calder race?
I'd imagine that we'd all have probably the first number one for our lists. I'm not going to be any different. No controversy here. Matthew Schaefer, I think, has been the most impressive rookie this season. If you remember when talking about our rookie race last year, I talked about the magic defenseman number. That's 50 points. Matthew Schaefer is currently on pace to hit 62. Yeah. So if he does it, the Calder Trophy is his, just like Lane Hudson before him. And I would put money on that. That's the magic number. It works. So he's had an incredible start. I don't know if people expected him to be so strong after missing most of last season, but he's been excellent. Really stabilized a defense core that, maybe was looking a little shaky after getting rid of Dobson, right? No questions anymore. Schaefer is that next kind of star that the Islanders have on their blue line. Second, I don't think it's going to be very controversial either. Beckett Seneca has been excellent as well. He is, on a young, exciting Ducks team, was a surprising third overall pick, and is now a surprising Calder candidate. He sits just a point behind Schaefer, 14 points in 20 games with the Ducks. Yeah, he's doing everything that you'd expect a top prospect to do, top rookie to do. He's winning faceoffs. He's playing, significant time. He's over 16 minutes a night. He's got a 17% shooting percentage. This is what you want from a top, top six guy, a top liner, one of your third overall picks, right? Now I'm going to go a little off the board, just a little. I think Matthew Wood is my number three. He's down there a little bit with only 10 points. Like Ivan Demidov is ahead of him, Oliver Kapanen, Jimmy Snuggerud. But he sits third on the Nashville Predators in scoring. There's only two guys in Nashville who have scored more than him this season, and that is Philip Forsberg and Ryan O'Reilly. He's got 6 goals, which is tied with O'Reilly. Nashville's been honestly brutal. Yeah. And Matthew Wood is bringing life into this team. I think that on its own has shown how important of a prospect he is, that he can be such an impact player on this team. And he's also, that 10 points, only 13 games. So I think he's sort of flying under the radar here and should be considered a top candidate.
Yeah, he's got a hat trick. Not that long ago, he had his first hat trick in the NHL. So, he's been really impressive and not playing a ton. He's averaging around 13 minutes as well. So, being that productive in that little ice time is pretty impressive, right? So, he's jumped into the conversation early on with his 10 points in the 13 games. I agree. And everyone knows how much I like Matthew Wood. I wrote his prospect profile way back when, and he's impressing so far this season too. Peter, what about you? Are you going to repeat or are you going to throw some extra guys here?
Yeah, I really do want to highlight Matthew Wood because he is leading all rookies in points per game with 0.77. And, we're looking at like Matthew Schaefer, Demidov, Seneca, all playing and other rookies hovering around over 15 games. Wood's only played 13 and he's being very productive. So that is definitely not going unnoticed. I know we're going to get to like our honorable mention, so I'm going to save him for then. But I do feel like he is knocking on the door to be a possible finalist. But for me right now, you can't overlook what Matthew Schaefer is doing right now. Leading all rookies in goals with 6, points with 15, and leading all, players, especially defensemen, with 22 minutes per game. Yeah. As Dayton mentioned, we talked about, filling the void of Noah Dobson. He's fulfilling that to a T, and he doesn't look like he's out of place. And he's already in contention for possibly making the Olympics right now. He's made the short list as a teenager right now. That is absolutely impressive right now, where he could win Rookie of the Year. He could represent his country as one of the biggest international hockey tournaments ever. So that alone is impressive. I think the biggest knock was whether or not whether that lack of ice time or game time was going to affect his play. Mm-hmm. Clearly not, because he's just absolutely dominating among all rookies right now. It is impressive to see Beckett Seneca there. I was a little surprised to see him be in that contention because, you didn't know what to expect from the Anaheim Ducks this year. What kind of a Anaheim Ducks this year, what kind of a team they were going to be. Obviously, Leo Carlson's stepping up. You're having a lot of their other, veteran players play a big role, but Seneca as a rookie being that productive, really impressive. And he is all but for sure being in there in my top 3. And I got to go with Ivan Demidov. I mean, the skill that he produces, or the skill that he displays, the production that he has, it's very impressive what he's doing already on a deep Montreal team. Already being a factor in the top 6, power play, 5-on-5. This guy's an absolute monster right now. For me, that is my top 3 right now. Again, things could change. You can see maybe Matthew Wood does get into that territory where maybe Demidov gets on a bit of a cold streak. He gets hot. And again, Matthew Wood is being productive on a very, very bad team. I think that's something that you can't overlook. So to me, those are my top 3 right now. But again, all subject to change, because there's still a lot of hockey left to play.
Yeah. For sure. But I mean, I know we were talking about if Schaefer's going to make the team. That was the first thing. Are they going to be on the Islanders? Well, he did. And he's one of the top, not just top defensemen rookie wise. His point totals are actually pretty good overall in the NHL for defensemen and for goals too. I didn't think he was going to be scoring that much, putting up already close to 10 goals already this season. And he's dominating on the power play. 4 of his goals have been on power play goals. Playing a ton. I mean, he's to be over 22 minutes. I think he even hit 28 minutes is for a high. I mean, Islanders are just no problem playing him. So he is my number 1 as well. I'll have Beckett Seneca as 2, because he's been really impressive, and looks like the Ducks made a good choice of surprising everyone and picking him so high. Looks like they knew something there. 3 is a tough one for me. I mean, there's quite a few guys that you could throw in there. I'll repeat. I mean, I'm not going to be different. I think, but I'm just going to agree with Dayton with Matthew Wood, because I think he's just been, he's probably been at times the Predators' best player. And that's tough on a team that has a lot of veteran guys, Steven Stamkos, Ryan O'Reilly, Philip Forsberg, and he's one of their better guys. That's pretty impressive. And we'll see if he can continue his production, because 3 of his 6 goals came in 1 game. So he kind of jumped into the conversation pretty quickly having that game. But he's been really good. So I'll put him as my 3 as well.
And not to pick at old wounds, but not included in Team Canada last year. He was cut. For the World Juniors.
That was, we didn't know how stake that was.
But we did. He was the only returning player, wasn't he? Or one of the only ones?
Yeah.
And you never cut a returning player. If you invite them, that was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely missed him for sure, and what he's doing in the NHL, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, honorable mentions. Now you could mention a lot because, like I say, there's a lot of rookies that are at 10 points already, and defensemen too. There's some in there, and there's a surprising 7th round pick in that conversation too. I won't take away anyone yet, but I'll start with you, Peter. Who are you going to mention in the honorable mention section here?
First and foremost, it's Oliver Kapanen for me. 11 points, 19 games, 10 of them are even strength. So this guy's doing a lot of damage at 5-on-5, and that's what you want to see. And obviously, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I had Kapanen 44th overall in the 2021 NHL draft when I was doing my final rankings, and the Montreal Canadiens took him 64th overall. So I kind of feel great that I had him listed higher because of the potential, because of the skill, the two-way play as a center. I really thought that there was a lot of potential there, and I think that the Montreal Canadiens are reaping what they sow right now, or reaping the rewards with the play of Kapanen. I just think he's very impressive, and he deserves to be as an honorable mention. Ryan Leonard's starting to pick things up right now. I'm starting to see a little bit more comfort level at the NHL level, a little bit more of that snarl, that tenacity, the speed, the edginess that we saw at World Junior tournaments, that he's just laying it out all on the line. Very impressive of what I'm seeing. I've already mentioned Matthew Wood. Arnold Vashunov has 10 assists, no goals, but 10 points in 18 games. And even some of the goalies too. You're looking at like Arthur Seelovs, 917 save percentage. Jesper Wallstedt's at 926. Mm-hmm. I get that Jakub Dobeš is getting some consideration right now, but compared to rookie goaltenders, I know he's played a lot, but he only has an 898 save percentage. Mm-hmm. So I get why he's up there because of his record, but his save percentage does not reflect his record right now. So to me, goaltenders like Wallstedt and Sheelovs are a little bit higher up because they're still getting those minutes, but they're still having an impact by keeping the puck out. So those are two goalies that I think deserve a little bit of recognition right there.
Yeah, Wallstedt's been really good lately. I mean, he had faced 40 shots, I think it was yesterday, and they won the game. And I mean, that save percentage is pretty impressive. He didn't have a very good season in the AHL last year. I mean, I mentioned him in the goaltender rankings that's why he dropped off. But I mean, the NHL, he's looking pretty good. It's basically first full-time backup in the league right now, and could potentially take over as the number one if he can keep it going here. But yeah, he's been really impressive too. Dayton, you have anyone else you want to mention in the race here?
I think one of my best ones was Jesper Wallstedt. You guys talked about him a bunch, but I'll take a chance to toot my own horn too. Back in, what was it, the 2023 draft? Was that his? Or 2022, maybe?
22, I think. Yeah. I think that's the same year with Kosa.
Yeah.
Yes. I picked him as a potential first overall. I knew it was a long shot, but I thought that he had the skill and the track record to be one of the first picks off the board. And I think he is proving with a 5-0-2 record that he could have been a much higher pick than, I believe, 21st. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I think that's when he went. I don't know if you guys are fact checking me on that, but that's okay. You don't have to. We'll just go with it.
Guys. It was 20. You were close, 20th.
Oh, so close.
And it was the 2021 draft. We were even further back.
That's where I got 21st then. I have an approximate knowledge of many things. A couple other guys I'll throw in there. Ben Kindle, I think, is really surprising, sticking with the Penguins this season. I believe they have already decided to burn the first year of his entry-level contract. And he's earned it, right? He's doing fantastically for a 18-year-old who, honestly, he is on the slighter side of things. I did not pick him out of anybody to make the NHL this year after first overall. So he's that's been really surprising. And Fraser Minton, I think, has looked really good in Boston. Not a star player there by any means, but he is playing a great, I think, bottom six role, winning faceoffs and providing a little bit of that grit and that goal scoring that he's known for. So I think, maybe not a Calder consideration, but I think he is worth mentioning as a top rookie this year, even though he doesn't have as many points.
Yeah, I agree. I think, looking at even Zeev Buium in Minnesota, he's been really good, getting pretty good minutes as well, a little over 18 minutes a game. So, I mean, he's got a -10, so whatever, plus minus is a thing. And Emmett Finney, mentioned him a lot on the Red Wings News and Rumors, that he's slowed down from his production. He started off the season really hot, but he's now only 9 points in 20 games. But for a 7th round pick to be even in the conversation as a top 10 or just outside the top 10 in points for rookies, that's pretty good. And he's playing in the top 6 normally in Detroit, so that's pretty impressive. 7th round pick getting pretty good minutes in the NHL and performing amongst all these guys that are drafted in the first, second round. Most of these guys are first round picks, and he's right in there. So, I've been really impressed by him so far this season. So I'll mention him too. All right. Well, we'll see who's going to end up winning. It's not a slam dunk, like we said. Well, Demidov is probably the favorite. And then now it's kind of really, I mean, there are some guys that are, for sure in the conversation that one of those guys are probably going to win it. But it's not just a foregone conclusion that it's one of them. And that's fun. I like Calder Trophy races that you're not sure that this is the guy that's going to win it right off the bat. It's very strong rookie class this season. So we'll talk about it again, I'm sure, and see what our final picks will be. And maybe it'll become clear as the season goes on. But so far, it's been really impressive how much these guys have performed. All right, we're going to do a quick run around the leagues in the CHL because we've been off for a bit. We're around the quarter season mark, maybe a bit over because, the CHL starts a little earlier than the NHL. A lot of teams around the 25-ish game mark. So we're going to start with the WHL. And, of course, Dayton, I'll start with you. I mean, there's lots of players you could mention here, but who has impressed you the most in the first 25 games or so here?
Yeah, the WHL has been really exciting this year. You can't talk about the league without mentioning JP Hurlburt and Nathan Bain.
Yeah.
Those two with the Kamloops Blazers have been incredible. Let me just pull up their actual numbers here so I don't get it wrong, like Wallstad's numbers. Hurlburt has 16 goals and 40 points in 23 games. And Bain has 14 goals and 34 points in 22 games. That is first and third in the league right now. That is honestly incredible. Like, I don't know what more to say about it. It's really good to see a player like Hurlburt come out as a potential, I think I've seen him as a top 15 projection now.
Yeah.
When he was maybe a first rounder, maybe a draft consideration coming into the season. Good on them. They are doing fantastic, turning that Kamloops Blazers team that struggled last year into a powerhouse. Maybe not winning as many games as they could, but having those two guys is a very good start. Someone to keep in mind as we move into next year's draft, Jackson Jacobson with the Brandon Wheat Kings is keeping them alive. 30 assists already, leads the league. And he is, I believe he's 16. Yep, 16. Not eligible until next year. Not even this draft. Well, he's on the smaller side, 5'9", but definitely a guy to keep an eye in mind as we sort of move into the next draft season. But one guy I think who has done incredible, given his circumstances, is Lyndon Lakovic, my favorite prospect from the 2025 draft.
I was debating how long it was going to take you to mention.
I wanted to do a build-up. You can't just come out of the gate, revealing your colors here. So once again, the Warriors, Moose Jaw Warriors, not great. They are working towards getting better. They just acquired Chase Witzke not that long ago for a goalie. He will help solidify some things, but this team is currently all Lakovic. He has 18 goals in 21 games. Very good. 29 points. Also very good. The next highest scorer on the Warriors he's got 8 goals. He has a 10-goal lead on the next highest scorer in the Warriors. This is a kid who is more than capable of taking a weaker team, and propelling them forward. He is the reason that the Warriors are, I believe, not in last place. I will confirm that, though, because they're close. Okay. Yeah, no, they are doing much better than they did last year. They are quite a few points out of a last place. Wenatchee, unfortunately, is in there. But for the Warrior, for the WHL, I think those are my top standouts so far.
Yeah, I mean, you've mentioned Lakovic, why he got drafted so low. He's proving that he should have been drafted a lot higher so far this season for sure. So
People focus on the wrong things.
Yeah, that's right. Peter, what about you? Anyone else you want to mention from the WHL here?
I mean, Dayton mentioned all of them, and I just want to give a shout out to JP Hurlburt because he is rising up for me, and he's going to be higher than a top 15 or higher than 15. I will say that. I'm just going to tease that a little bit for my next rankings because he has been absolutely dynamic. Can't wait to see him at that prospect showcase against Team USA. Maybe a little bit of bad blood for him. I don't know. Moving on from NTDP to come here. We'll see what happens. But I do want to say he's putting up like Andrew Crystal like numbers already. Yeah. And, when you have only 11 power play points, that's like your even strength production is outweighing power play production right now. And that's what scouts want to see. How well can you drive play? He's doing that, and he's being very impactful. Sticking with the 2026 NHL draft, that's Ryan Lynn. He's well above a point per game. I know that I believe he's second or third amongst WHL defenders. Second. Yeah, 25 points, 22 assists, 3 goals. And this is a guy that's just shooting up the charts as well. This is a guy that's pushing. I mean, a lot of scouts had him top 10 early on coming into the season. I did too. He's probably pushing top 5 right now, or at least into that 5 to 7, 8 range where he's improving his stock a little bit more. And just the smarts that he's possessing right now, the calmness, the poise, the passing and breakouts, it's just very, very, it's coming like second nature to him right now. It's like he knows what to do every single time. And it's very impressive to see him still be productive and to build off of what already was, an impressive 24, 25 season where he had 53 points. Not sure what the on pace projection is like, but if my math is somewhat approximate as well, he's going to surpass that. Yeah, he's going to surpass that at 77 points. So this is going to be a big year for him. It's also a big year for defenders overall for this draft. And I think Ryan Lynn is going to be that next defender taken off the board.
Yeah, he's really risen up for sure as the season's gone on, and I mean, very early on, but yeah, that's some good on pace numbers for sure. Yeah, I mean, Hurlberg, he's just been off the charts. That's a guy that's I think probably the biggest riser since the start of the season, where he was kind of maybe mentioned as a first round pick, but not where he could be now. So that's he's definitely impressed for sure. All right, Peter, I'll stick with you to the OHL. Lots of impressive performances early on as well. Who are you kind of tabbing as standouts right now?
Right now, it's got to be Jake O'Brien leading the way. I mean, we talked about how great the production is from a lot of the drafted players from last year's draft, and Jake O'Brien has been absolutely dominant since since coming back to Bradford. 38 points, 29 assists. Again, you kind of wonder. I mean, the power play and even strength productions kind of evening itself out right now. So this is a guy that's a factor on both in two key offensive situations, 5-on-5 and on the power play. Kobo Dwem, again, I've raved about his work ethic, the physicality, and the potential that he has. 33 points in 18 games for Barrie. Wouldn't be, if I wasn't talking about Barrie, I wouldn't be talking about Kayshawn HSM. Again, well over a point per game. Amongst defenders, he has 25 in 20. And he's leading all defenders in goals. Like, he has more goals and assists as a defender right now. So that Cash is basically getting those offensive chances, those key goals for his team nonstop. Again, he was one of my fan favorites last year, and he's still a fan favorite for me right now. And this year's draft, if I talked about Ryan Lynn, one guy that's chasing him right now and is very productive, and that's Chase Reed. And, there's, again, like I said, a common theme every single year. Last year was Cameron Reed. This year it's Chase. So Reed is always going to be a favorite player of mine regardless. And 27 points, 24 games. This is a guy that, man, he's just uber competitive. Everything he does is just so composed and so on point. The passing, the shooting, the physicality, the defending against rushes. He is basically a big or, complete package defender right now, aside from what you could get from a Keaton Verhoff. This is the guy that's going to go to be in the top 10 right now. And his production right now says it all in terms of just being not only one of the top defenders, but one of the top players in the OHL right now, as he sits 11th overall.
Yeah, all really impressive performances. Jake O'Brien, I think that's a guy that I think maybe I don't know if he was overlooked last draft, but I think he's definitely not being overlooked now in the OHL. So yeah, lots of great performances. Dayton, you want to add anyone that has impressed you in the OHL? I mean, you don't focus as much on that league, but of course you do keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I try not to forget about it too much. I think just like the Brantford Bulldogs in general, they haven't lost in regulation yet. They've played 21 games. They have 0 regulation losses. They also have a plus 50 in goal differential. They have 107 goals and have allowed 57. Nobody in the CHL comes close. I was trying to look what is the closest team to them, and I think it's the Edmonton Oil Kings with 38. The amount of dominance that team has shown is honestly a little scary. Like, I don't know what's happening over in Brantford. Why do they have 6 20-point players so far this season? They have 4 double-digit goal scorers in, like I said, 21 games. None of their goalies have any losses. Ryerson Leenders was one of my favorites of 1 draft ago. Yeah, it's just 2024.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember. I haven't done that many drafts, and already I'm getting them confused. That's more so my problem. So yeah, Brantford Bulldogs, incredible. Liam Greentree.
Yeah.
That's a kid who's doing really well. He hasn't played as many games as some of his peers. Only 14 games so far, but 12 goals, 24 points. He is one of the most productive players in a point per game basis in the OHL right now. He was one of my favorites of that draft as well. That was 2024. I believe I wrote his profile as well. So that helps to become a favorite of somebody's.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's on pace for 51 goals though. So
yeah,
that's a special player that the LA Kings managed to get 26th overall. I think that was a little low for him. Even if, with all things considered, there's some teams who should be kicking themselves.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you got 2 guys now. Greentree, Lakovic. My gosh. There's definitely the Kings got a steal where they got him, and he's been one of the leaders on the Spitfires this season already. Last season, of course, he was too. So very impressive. All right, let's finish with the QMJHL. I sometimes forget about that league, but they're there. Dayton, I'll stay with you. Anyone from the Q that has impressed you so far this season?
I think mainly it's been like draft eligible guys that have impressed me. There's
Which
been,
is
of course,
great
some
for that.
Yeah. Last year, QMJHL not well represented in the draft, especially the first round. This year, I don't think that'll be a problem. Yegor Shilov is already 31 points in 21 games for the Victoriaville Tigers. That is the third best in the league. Xavier Villeneuve, 25 points in 21 games, and don't forget he's a defenseman. So Peter already mentioned this is going to be a defensive-heavy draft, especially at the top end. He's going to be fighting for a place there. He's on pace for 75 points. That's right on line with what Ryan Lynn is producing. They're actually similar size, too. I think Lynn is on the smaller side, if I remember correctly. Not small, but, comparatively.
I was about to say, Lynn is 6 feet, 175.
Yeah.
Villeneuve is, I believe he's still like 5'11", 157.
Oh, I clicked the wrong guy. There's a lot of names that look similar. He is 5'11". Yeah, 157. So a little smaller. But that's, I think, in the same ballpark, right? As for NHL drafted prospects, Justin Carbonneau has looked really good.
Yeah.
I believe he leads the league. Oh, he's close to leading the league. He's got 18 goals in 18 games. Just behind Felix Lacerte with 19 goals in 19 games. A lot of goal per game guys in the queue this year. That's fun. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all my standouts so far. Like the OHL, I don't focus as much on it, but I try not to forget about it. And there's been a few guys that have drawn my attention to the league, and I look forward to diving a little bit more in.
For sure, yeah, and it is great that they've got some more representation in the draft, first round picks types this season than previous. So yeah, really good. Peter, you have anyone to add to this here?
Yeah, Dayton mentioned it. It's more so the draft eligibles that are really, really standing out right now. Again, he did mention Justin Carbonneau. I massive goal scorer last year, and he's like really right up there in terms of still being a very dangerous goal scorer and producer. I was a big fan of Matteo Nober last year, and he's quietly putting up some really strong numbers again this season. He's well over a point per game. He was one last year. I feel like he doesn't have that wow factor, but he's got that calmness and he's got that well-rounded two-way game to him. And the fact that he's still being productive without, losing that defensive mindset, and he's being very productive with his playmaking, I feel like he shouldn't be overlooked this year because he is top 15 in scoring right now. And just his overall play, I feel like, the Vegas Golden Knights have got a really good one. And, considering how well they've drafted, but also traded those picks away, hopefully this could be good value for them, whether he is moved on or if he's still going to be with the team, because he's got a lot of upside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. The Golden Knights, how many prospects they keep. They need to. I mean, they've got a veteran. A lot of their guys are veterans. There are some younger guys, but they're going to have to start keeping some of their prospects because, or not. They just keep trading and just doing it that way. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, he could be an interesting one to keep an eye on. All right, we're going to finish with a variation of our prospects of the week and do a standout from each of our teams here. So I'll start with you, Peter. Maple Leafs standout prospect this season. You can mention one or two, whoever you want, whatever you want to do.
I am going to mention two very briefly. First off, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't mention Harry Nancy. 5th round pick in last year's draft, 153rd overall. He only had 23 points last season in 67 games. He is already at 31 in 22. So he already smashed his record or his point production last year in at least, 60, not 60, but like at least 40 fewer games as a result of that. and he sits top 10 in goal scoring in the OHL with 31 points, as I mentioned, 24 assists overall. So he's not a high-end shooter, but man, is he very deceptive with his playmaking, and he's very strong at picking those teams and spotting his teammates. He's been very productive this year and a very, very big standout for the Maple Leafs prospect pool. Again, there may not be a whole lot of substance, but I do think that Nancy is moving himself up into possibly top 5 prospect status with a lot of upside. Who knows? But the Maple Leafs have to be happy with what they're seeing with the progression, how he was a younger player last year, and the big steps that he's taken with Owen Sound this season. They have to be very happy with that. And the second one is going to be Miroslav Halenka, 30 points in 22 games for the Edmonton Oil Kings. Again, he had 45 last year. And again, kind of like in terms of like the on pace projection, he's well on pace to surpass that and be more productive this time around. And if everything's loading, it's a little bit slow right now. There we go. On pace for 89 points this season alone. Again, big jump in terms of production, taking that big step. Maple Leafs want to see that progression. They want to see more from the prospects. And Halenka is a very strong, offensive minded or offensive driven player, but has really great two-way acumen and IQ. So the fact that he, again, same like Nancy, the fact that they're not letting one aspect of their game take over the other, and they're still progressing while keeping up with their strengths, that to me is impressive. And I would have also given an honorable mention to Victor Johansson, but I am waiting for the World Junior Championship if and when he does make it, because he looked really good at the summer showcase. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of progression with him this season as well.
All right. Dayton, for the Senators, I know you just did an update on the draft, the 2025 draft, guys, but who are you kind of standouts this season so far?
Yeah, I'll pick 2 guys, one from the list that I published and one not. So one of the, I think, best players from the 2025 draft class for the Senators right now is Lucas Beckman. I didn't want to mention him during my QMJHL standouts, but he is definitely one of them. He is the most worked goalie in the league. He has a .912 save percentage and only 4 wins. So to me, that says this kid is getting shelled, and the team in front of him just can't get the wins. He is stopping the puck as much as any other goalie, if not better than any other goalie. Yeah. And he is just... he's on a terrible team. I don't mean to be mean, but Baikamo is not winning any games. Yeah. The games that they are winning, Beckman has won. He has won all 4 games for Baikamo. That's, I don't know, to see a goalie like succeed in that kind of environment is so rare. And he was one of my favorite picks from that draft class for the Senators. I really like that selection. I think they got him in the perfect spot. I think they made a really smart pick with that. And the second guy, again, you can't mention the Senators without talking about Carter Yakimchuk. Yeah. And he has done excellently in his first season in the AHL so far. 16 games played, 11 points, which sits 7th among all defensemen in the league, but leads all rookie defenders. He is on pace for 50 points as a rookie AHL defenseman. 50 points as a forward, you don't see often. Yeah. It's a tough league to score in. You're getting a lot of, players coming in and out. You get a lot of veterans from the NHL. Getting to even 70 points, period, is we have a star on our hands. Yeah. At least that's kind of how it seems. It's a lower scoring, and Carter Yakimchuk could hit 50 this year. That is the Senators have such a special defenseman in Yakimchuk. Yeah. He has developed really, really well. There's of course still things to work on. He is a -9 right now, which you'd hope would be a little bit better. But if there's going to be one hiccup on his game, we knew it was going to be the defense, and that should improve as he continues to get more strength and get accustomed to the league. I think he's doing exactly what the Senators wanted, and maybe he doesn't make the team this year, or maybe plays a cup of coffee or whatever. Yeah. That's fine. That should be expected. This is this is the progression that you want from a top defenseman. You don't want to rush him in unless they are clearly ready. And Yakinchuk needs some time. He'll be fine.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and like you say, defense is something, and I've said it many times. Defense can be taught. It can be fixed. I mean, some defensemen, maybe not, but a lot of guys that you can get that in their game. But the offense is definitely there from him for sure. All right, for the Canucks, there are a couple I'll mention, and I'll start with Braden Coots because, I mean, how he started in the NHL he was okay. He didn't really stand out in his first few games. I got sent back to the WHL, and has no problems. 5 goals, 15 points in 10 games so far, on pace for 90 points. 30 goals. I mean, he had 26 last season, but not 90 points, only 63. But if he keeps on this pace, that's 90, and then that's pretty crazy. An increase. He had a 6-point game not that long ago, and I mean, he's had a few multi-point games. He hasn't missed a beat going back to the WHL for the Seattle Thunderbirds. I mean, he's the captain. Again this season too. So yeah, he's been really impressive. I don't know. He might be in the NHL next season full time, or he might not. He may go back again, but I think he's close, and he's already showing that WHL he's fine in. And the other guy that I'll mention is Riley Patterson. He's a guy that's he's traded to Niagara Ice Dogs. We requested a trade, 4th round pick in 2024. He has 10 goals in 18 games so far this season too. And he hasn't really slowed down. He's hasn't had many games where he hasn't gotten points. He's broken a point streak not that long ago, and he's got a goal since then. The Ice Dogs haven't been doing very well lately. They're on a 5-game losing streak, but he's doing all he can to kind of break them out of it. But he's on pace for 37 goals and 70 points. So quite a bit of an increase from his last season with the Barrie Colts. But yeah, he's looking like maybe a bit of a steal in the 4th round for the Canucks. So really impressed by Riley Patterson, and a quick mention to Kieran Durbin as well, who's was from the 2025 draft. He's been pretty impressive this season as well. All right. Well, that's another episode of Prospect Corner. We will try not to be a month since between episodes, but for our next one, World Juniors are coming up really quick, so that'll be our next focus. We'll be doing our previews for the teams, and once their rosters kind of start getting worked out. And of course, we'll be covering the World Juniors. Dayton heads that coverage team up. So look out for all of our stuff. We'll be going for the World Juniors coming up. Lots of fun stuff coming up there. But make sure to check out everything at thehogbears.com for all of our prospect coverage from all the other teams. And thanks, Dayton. Thanks, Peter, for coming on. As always, talking prospects. Make sure you tune in next time for our next episode. We'll see you then.